All right, so get ready, because today we're going deep, deep, deep into the world of hip hop, talking about the one and only Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy, man.
You think you know him, the music, the persona, all that.
Right.
But we're going way deeper than the hits, deeper than the shiny suits even. This is about understanding how Sean Combs,
Sean Combs, yeah.
that's right, Sean Combs, how this kid from Harlem becomes a global icon, a mogul, the whole thing.
And it's quite a story, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
what always gets me about Puffy is you see how his journey, right from the beginning, shaped everything, not just the music,
Mm-hmm.
but his whole empire, his whole vibe. It's all connected to where he came from.
You hit the nail on the head. This empire, this wasn't some overnight success. This was years in the making, built brick by brick, and it all starts back in 1969 Harlem.
Oh man, 1969 Harlem, now that's a scene.
Can you imagine that energy, the music, the culture, everything just popping off? And right in the thick of it, you've got young Sean Combs, just a little kid, 2 years old, and he loses his father.
Oh wow,
Yeah, a tragic murder.
that's heavy stuff. I mean, 2 years old, you can't even fathom that kind of loss, you know? It's got to light a fire in you.
Absolutely. A life-altering event, no doubt about it.
I mean, talk about drive. That's got to be where it comes from, right? This need to make something of himself, to build a legacy. You can see it.
It's like they say, pressure creates diamonds or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And he channels that drive, uses that pain, goes on to Howard University. Now, he didn't graduate, but come on, late 80s Howard.
Oh, man.
Talk about a breeding ground for icons, the who's who of Black excellence.
You're not kidding. The connections, the energy, future leaders, artists, entrepreneurs, all in one spot, even without that degree that seeps into your soul.
No doubt shapes your whole worldview, for sure.
Absolutely.
And those experiences, they fueled his ambition. You can see it. He lands an internship, and not just any internship. We're talking Uptown Records,
Uptown.
the record label, R&B, hip-hop. This was it, the epicenter, man.
Jodici, Mary J.
Oh, yeah, Mary J., Heavy D, all of them, New Jack Swing. They were like the architects.
It was a movement, a cultural earthquake, for real.
And he's right there in the middle of it, soaking it all in, learning the ropes.
And he thrives in that environment, you know? Not everyone could handle that energy, but he rises through the ranks.
Becomes a key executive. People start to notice this young guy, Sean Combs, he's got something special.
You could just tell the talent, the hustle, the way he approached everything, just pure determination.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing, though, right?
Right.
This is where it gets interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Despite his, meteoric rise at Uptown, things change. Creative differences, they emerge, and he gets let go.
Oh, wow.
Now, for most people, that'd be a game over, crushing blow, right?
For sure.
Not Puff. He takes that setback, that rejection, uses it as fuel.
Talk about turning lemons into lemonade, man.
And bam, 1993, he launches Bad Boy Entertainment, takes the leap, puts it all on the line.
And this right here, this is where the legend of Puff Daddy truly begins.
It all starts here. Sean Combs, the executive, the hit maker, the visionary. He comes into his own, and it starts with a demo tape.
A demo tape.
This guy, Christopher Wallace, rapping under the name Biggie Smalls, hears this tape, and he just knows this is it.
It's funny how those moments happen. You know, a simple demo tape changing the whole game.
And it wasn't just about finding talent, though Biggie was undeniably gifted.
Oh.
Puff saw something more, a kindred spirit, someone hungry, someone who wanted to rewrite the rules just like him.
They had that connection, that shared ambition.
And Puff always had the bigger picture in mind. This wasn't just a label, this was an empire he was building, and he needed artists who could embody that, not just rap.
He needed a lifestyle.
Exactly.
It was bigger than just music. It was a whole movement, you know, like a cultural shift.
It's true. And think about the artists that he was drawn to, like a Biggie. They were authentic. They had those stories,
Yeah.
but they also had that presence, that charisma, larger than life.
And Puff knew how to bring that out, make it pop, turn them into icons, make you want to be them.
He was a master at that, no question.
And the music, man. Let's not forget about the music.
Oh, for sure.
Puff had this crazy knack for blending sounds, for sampling in a way that nobody else was doing it, you know?
Right.
Fresh, innovative.
It's like he just heard things differently.
It's true. It's like he took inspiration from the greats, you know, Quincy Jones, Berry Gordy, that Motown sound, those melodies.
Oh, yeah, those timeless melodies, unforgettable.
Exactly. And he brought that into hip hop, but in his own way.
Yeah, he built a bridge, you know what I mean? You got kids hearing a Diana Ross sample and Money Mo Problems, a Grandmaster Flash riff, and Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, and boom.
They're hooked.
Discovering these artists maybe for the first time, connecting generations through music, that's powerful.
He blew it up, man. And he wasn't afraid to experiment either, push boundaries. And in that process, he created this sound that came to define the era.
Yeah, it wasn't just sampling. It was an art form, for real.
It's true. And let's talk about those videos, those Puff Daddy videos, man. They were next level.
Oh, game changers, no doubt.
Glamour, high fashion, Versace, furs, the works.
And everybody wanted a piece of it, aspirational, you know? Like, hip-hop is luxury, hip-hop is success.
That was the statement.
And the whole world was listening, man. They bought in.
They did. He was a marketing genius, no two ways about it, understood collaborations, endorsements, everything.
Clothing line, Sean John. Oh, man, the Sean John.
Legendary.
Then you got the reality show, Making the Band.
Making the Band. Come on now.
Completely changed the game for finding new talent, putting a group together on TV, millions of people watching.
Unheard of at the time.
Genius, pure genius.
Visionary, plain and simple, saw the potential in hip-hop way back when, wasn't afraid to challenge the norms, push those boundaries.
Yeah, and this is where it gets a little,
A little complicated.
Yeah, the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, this period in hip-hop, it's both captivating and just tragic,
Sure.
You have these two powerhouses, Bad Boy on the East Coast, Death Row on the West, and the tension, you could cut it with a knife.
Like a Shakespearean tragedy playing out on the world stage, you know what I mean?
For real.
And at the center of it all, you've got Puff, Biggie, and of course Tupac Shakur, signed to Death Row.
Right.
And people forget, though, they were actually friends early on, But this series of misunderstandings, the violence, the media just fanning the flames, it created this huge divide.
And the media, man, they couldn't get enough of it, this East Coast versus West Coast narrative.
Hey, ate it up.
Fueled the fire for sure. And then, of course, you have the shooting at Quad Studios, 1994. Tupac gets shot, robbed.
Turning point for sure.
No one was ever charged, but Tupac was convinced Biggie and Puff, they were involved.
Oh, wow.
That's what he believed. And man, it just fueled everything. The diss tracks hit him up, a direct shot at Biggie and Puffy.
Things got real fast.
Man, when you think about it, it's almost impossible to talk about this era without getting chills.
Yeah.
It was just this powder keg of raw talent, ambition, but also this undercurrent of violence,
Right. And it's easy to romanticize it now. But it was a dangerous time, man.
For sure. And it ended in tragedy. Both Tupac and Biggie gone way too soon.
Their deaths, they shook the world, man. Cast a long shadow. And not just on hip-hop.
No, it was cultural,
In Puff, even though he wasn't directly,
Right.
linked to those tragedies, his name, it's forever there in the story.
It's a lot to carry, even decades later, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But I think it's important we remember, beyond the controversy, Puff's contributions.
Oh, they're undeniable.
This dude took hip-hop from, block parties, boom boxes, to a global phenomenon, I mean.
It's true. He had that vision, that drive.
The sampling, the branding, this global vision. You can draw a straight line from that to the hip-hop we have today.
He wasn't just riding the wave. He was creating it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Always reinventing, evolving, pushing those boundaries.
From producing those hits to Sean John to Making the Band.
Oh, man. Classic.
The guy was unstoppable, a force of nature,
And don't forget, all this while dealing with, the tragedies, the dangers of that whole era.
Right.
Love him or criticize him, you can't deny the impact.
He's like a walking example of resilience, creativity, just that entrepreneurial spirit.
Took his pain, his experiences, turned it into something powerful, something that resonated with millions.
Absolutely. And so as we try to kind of unpack this legacy, all the ups, the downs, the innovations, the controversies, one question I keep coming back to.
What's that?
It's this. How did this rivalry, this East Coast, West Coast thing, something that felt both, inevitable and avoidable all at the same time.
Right.
How did it shape the artists and the music we still listen to today?
It's a question with, no easy answers.
No easy answers for sure, but one worth thinking about.
Absolutely, one worth thinking about.
And that's going to do it for this deep dive into the world of Puff Daddy. From Harlem to hip-hop icon.
From Harlem to hip-hop icon, that's right.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time as we explore another corner of the world and the stories that matter.